Sorry, they've got that share screens here.
I know.
Well, welcome tonight, the 29th of May, 8 p.m, just after 8 p.m. now, and you're listening and watching SkyWay Investment Group presentation tonight. My name is Darren Hayward, and I've been with the company now since February this year, and I was introduced by a good friend of mine by the name of Araha, who showed me that opportunity back in February, and I think it's the best decision I've ever made out of all the different things that I've looked at over the last few years. And the reason being is because this is going to become ubiquitous around the world, guys. So a little thing, this is going to change the way that we ride and use our transport. You know, or getting back and forth to work, or traveling from city to city, or things like that. So, advisor of the company, been sort of an advisor just about from the beginning. Within the first week, I think I ranked up to becoming an advisor. There's a couple of other advisors as well in the company too that are joining me on the webinar tonight. A little bit later, we'll be having a chat with them as well, and just seeing how they are enjoying the company too. So, moving on, we'll just before we carry on, guys, if you do have any questions and answers, if we don't answer them during the webinar, certainly we'll be able to, after that, give you any answers to any questions that you may have. So that's in the chat box next to the screen. When you're on a small screen, you'll see the chat box, so you can ask any questions in there, and we'll be happy to help you answer any of those questions. What you see here, guys, is global challenges that we're facing today. This is around the world. Now, a lot of cities around there in the world are in the same predicament. Train stations are just overcrowded. They're putting down more infrastructure into the ground just to accommodate all this extra population. And it's not just happening in other countries, it's also happening in our country here in New Zealand. Cities with the population like Auckland and Wellington, especially Auckland and Wellington. This is just an everyday occurrence. Something that might only take a 20-minute drive is taking sometimes an hour and a half or more just to get down that same destination, to that same destination. If you look at the bottom left-hand side at the picture, that's what's happening in some countries with the pollution of motor vehicles and different transportation systems that they are using. So it's not really very friendly for the environment. You can see also some of these big oil tankers that are breaking down at sea and causing like these big spillages into our oceans and destroying a lot of our sea life. Doing harm to a lot of that food that we are catching. So this is a problem that is not going away too quickly. And what's the solution to all that? Here's another one. This is available transport today. Now, can see that as more and more of this transport's coming out, it's creating more and more problems with pollution in the world. Not only is it doing that, it's also using up more and more space of land, and it's just worse and worse as we move on, and into we're now in the 21st century, and you'd think we'd have something a bit better than this. Well, this is a gentleman you have to introduce you to. His name is Anatoly Unitsky, and he's the man that's behind the whole foundation of this business. He's a scientific engineer. He's won many awards and certificates, over 100 different awards and certificates he has. And he's the man behind this, what we call the Unitsky String Rail technology. If you want to find out a bit more about this gentleman here, oops, sorry, not him, this one here, all you need to do is go to this website down the bottom here, www.unitsky.com/author/English.htm. And it's got a full that Mr. Unitsky has created, and where he's going with the whole technology and everything. So this gentleman here has made everything possible through another gentleman that I'm going to introduce you to on the next page. And this is the man here called Andrei Haratov. Now he is a man from Russia, and he's a big investment man. He's been involved in investments on that side of the world for many years, and he's got a mission to educate people around the world about investments and education about investments. So when he first came across Anatoly Unitsky, he said to him, have you heard of crowdfunding before? And Anatoly had never actually heard of it. Originally, he was taking his big project to get it started up, and he had banks coming to him and everything like this, wanting to lend the money, and hedge funds and everything like this. But he thought it sounded quite good getting all this money, but then he thought, gee, it's going to be about 3 or 4 times the amount he's going to have to pay back with all the interest involved. So he thought, okay, I don't think I really want to do that. Then he had the investors approach him, and they wanted to take about 75% of the business and just leave him with the other 25% or less. So he thought, no, that's not going to work either. He didn't want to have to answer to investors, and all that intellectual property that he's created was going to be given away basically to the investors. So he thought, what I'm going to do, I'm going to wait. I'm just going to wait until the right solution comes along. Well, that's the best thing he could have actually did was wait, because through Andrei Haratov, this is our CEO, by the way, of the company, he was able to introduce him to crowdfunding. And when he spoke to Anatoly about this, as I was saying, he was not knowing anything about crowdfunding, so everything, and he told him the whole thing about how crowdfunding worked and how he could actually use the crowdfunding to crowdfund different local projects with SkyWay. So basically what this is like a educational investment portal. It's like a platform, and we will show you how to be educated on the different investments. So not just investments in SkyWay, but we can also educate you across the whole board of different investments as well, and which is the best ones to look at. So it's not all about having your eggs all in the one basket, guys. So this is Andrei and Anatoly, where they met up 3 years ago, back in 2014, and that's when it all began with the crowdfunding. 4th of September 2014, the partnership agreement was signed between the company, SkyWay Investment Group, and Eurasian Rail Skyway Systems Limited. So what is it that's so unique about SkyWay? Okay, well, we've got 4 different types of SkyWay systems. The first one being SkyWay Unibike. Now, this is just a little vehicle, but it's designed to go around parks, to save having to walk around some of these huge parks and be worn out by the time the end of the day comes along. You can just hop in one of these and just cruise around on that. And that's got speeds with that one up to 120 km per hour. There's also the SkyWay Unibus. Now, this is more for urban areas around the suburbs. So this can be mounted like you see, and it can also be suspended from the railing as well. So it's just designed for short distances of up to 200 kilometers and speeds of up to 150 kilometers. So we've got SkyWay Cargo as well. Now this is also handy if you're wanting to transport freight from one side of the country to the other. Can come in very handy for that type of thing. Designed for long distances, this one, up to 10,000 kilometers you can freight cargo with this. And speeds up to 500 kilometers an hour. So if you look at how long it takes to drive, say, from maybe Turangi, that might take about 5 hours, roundabout. So this will do it in 1 hour, because it can go up to 500 kilometers per hour. So pretty neat. This is our SkyWay high-speed system. Now this is the most luxurious one of the 4. This is the more expensive model. And this is to go from like city to city. So it's mounted and suspended. It's designed for long distances of up to 10,000 kilometers. Speeds up to 500 kilometers per hour. So just a quick summary of them all. What I like to say is if the country doesn't want to have the high-speed network, like connect cities to cities, then they might just want it just for the suburbs, to connect suburbs to suburbs. If they don't want to do that, they can just use it for cargo, for doing freight from, say, to Wellington, something like that. Or if they don't want any of those, then they could just have the 4th different option, which is just the Unibike, which is just the little model that goes around the park. So it's mainly for those sorts of things. So that's just to show you a bit of the past and today and the different models that have come out with designs of SkyWay. So today and the future. Let's look at the other ones out there, guys. I know there's a lot of people have been talking about some of the other transportation systems out there. So what better way to do it than to compare them all with our competitor analysis. So the first one is our one, of course, and then it's the magnetic levitation, 100 up to 600 kilometers an hour. The cost per kilometer is 105 million. Travel on flat ground. Safety is high. Now this is the Hyperloop. This is like the tube one that goes through like a tube system. I don't know about you guys. I don't know if I want to be traveling up to 1,300 kilometers an hour on that one with a moderate safety. And for $100 million per kilometer, you can have that one installed as well. Unfortunately, that can only be set up on flat ground. Then there's this one here called SkyTran, up to 240 kilometers an hour. Safety is high, and that works out at 6 million per kilometre. But that can only be used on flat cities. Okay, so it's no good outside of the cities, that last one. Now, SkyWay can travel up to 500 kilometres an hour. Safety is very high, and the cost per kilometre is only 3 to 8 million per kilometre. Also eco-friendly as well, like all the other ones. But the difference with adaptability is that you can travel anywhere with this on SkyWay, across oceans, across deserts, through the jungle, up into mountains. So it virtually can go anywhere without using up any more space than what's already there. With the pylons that are put in, they only require 3 meters square of land for each pylon. So it's not really using up a lot of land. So this is what it's all about, guys. This is a way that you can actually become part of the company. There's a couple of ways of becoming part of the company, and it's all done through crowdfunding. Now, sometimes we do get governments where they just come up with the money and they say, look, we want to put this system in here because it's getting so bad with the congestion of traffic, and the population is forever increasing. So crowdfunding is the way that we would mainly do that. And sometimes you would get some investors that might come in and want to put in a bigger lump sum. So that's also welcome. But initially, when we started off, a lot of the investors that were wanting to start it was mainly, only getting the power of one person with the investment, rather than, with a crowdfunding situation, you're getting a lot more power from, a lot more people investing into it. So 300,000 people now who are in SkyWay, and a lot of those people in there have also become crowdfunders. This is our Eco Techno Park. Now this is going to be open to the public on the 1st of July, and it's going to demonstrate the different SkyWay systems, from the high-speed train system, this one here, to the Unibus, to the Unibike, down to the small one. I think it's actually the Unibike there, and Unibus, cargo one, and then the high-speed one. Now, because the high-speed one can go up to 500 kilometres an hour, the government have actually given, because it wasn't going to be enough land to reach that amount of speed at 500 kilometres per hour, so the government have given an extra, I think it was about an extra 11 or 15 actually, might have been kilometres extra to cover that distance for the high-speed train. So that's going to be, the high-speed one is going to be definitely all finished by the end of this year, but all the other ones will be in operation. So we've got to the end of this year to reach $200 million, guys, from the crowdfunding. So far, since we started back in September 2014, we have crowdfunded over 27 million to date. It's getting bigger all the time. So if you got onto Google and Google this location that you see in front of us here, you'll be able to see exactly the Eco Techno Park. Just by typing that in, Eco Techno Park, you'll be able to see that that whole area. Now, the whole thing, when you saw on the video, you would have seen all the nice vegetation, everything around it. Well, what is happening in this one here, you'll see all this is all these plants are being planted here and everything like that to make it look really ecological, environmentally free from all the pollution and everything like that. Now, Anatoly Unitsky himself is also creating acid-free, taking all the acid out of the earth and things like this to make it what they call humus, similar to hummus name, but it's actually called humus, which is like type of earth that they're using to create all these eco villages that you see there. There's also going to be, like down in the water here, going to be able to see fish swimming around here, and everything's just going to look very, very luscious and vegetatious. ISIN, International Security Identification Number. Now, on the actual ISIN site, we can go to that. You'll be able to find out that this number here, or this one that you see here, BG 322291094, has also been registered for SkyWay, and they have to have this in place as a system. So when they go into like trading onto the stock exchange, they need to have this ISIN number in place to be official and be able to trade on there. The standardized protocol that is required, you know, for anything that is registered, that's going to become a worldwide thing, or even if it's not worldwide, it's going to become onto the stock market. They need to have that set up. Okay, guys, if you're thinking about jumping on board with this, this would be the time to do it, because we've gone from stage 1 since 2014 to stage 9 in 2017. So that's only 3 years later. Now, once we get past the 1st of July, it's believed, and there's a lot of speculation going out there at the moment, that we're going to move through these other stages pretty quickly. So like 2017, 2018 is only next year. We're talking between 2018 and 2020, or even sooner, before this all goes on to the IPO, or initial public offering. In other words, onto the stock exchange. So at this stage we're at now, we're just going through the demonstration of this, which is the one you saw in the previous picture with the eco park. So that has to just get certification, and they've done part of that certification already. So we've had some good news just recently about that. It has been certified, I believe, in Russia, and still got a few other little stages of that to do. So there we go, guys. I see the chat room's filling up pretty much on there too. If you've got any questions that you want any answers to that I haven't answered so far, feel free just to put it into the chat box, and either June or Araha will be able to answer your questions on there. So it's getting on to the next. So these are some of the countries that have already signed agreements with SkyWay now. So the technology's going into Turkey, Tanzania. It's going into, I can't see what that says down the bottom there, but we've got Ireland, we've got Russia, Australia. Oh, there we go, Belarus. Excuse me. So since then, there's been a few more countries. We're looking at maybe going now into Egypt as well. Now Cairo is a new city that's going to be put in there, where they're looking at the transportation system at the moment in Cairo, and they're looking at the best technology, I guess, as well, to be put in there, because what they're going to be putting in is going to be having to last a few years to come. There's also India, of course, as well, who signed an agreement with us recently for $922 million to put the SkyWay system in there. Now that's going to be going in as soon as the certification is all finished. And just technical documentation, guys, at this stage, that's just got to be all done. And once that's done, then we can start building all the SkyWay infrastructure into these countries. Now, India is doing a project at the moment. Here we are. This is India. India is doing a project at the moment where they're involving, there's 3 different projects actually happening across 19 cities in India. So they're putting the SkyWay technology into those 19 cities and the 3 different projects going across there too. So as you can see there, these are some of the guys on the right hand side up the top here in the company. And also signing some agreements here with India. And this is just a recent one when they were there. Now, you notice the guy in the photo there next to Anatoly Unitsky is the Dalai Lama. And he's a spiritual leader. And he has said to Anatoly Unitsky, do not stop what you're doing. Keep going. Keep doing what you're doing. He said, you're going to change the world. And he's had that dream since 40 years ago when he started up with the idea. Funny about it, back then people were saying, you're crazy, don't do this, go back and get yourself a job, forget about this nonsense, and it's not going to work, nothing's going to happen, and it's all just bull, you know. But now look at what's happened. Everything is actually now happening in reality. So recently, one of the managers that is in the company by the name of Mina, who you see in the middle photo and on the two other photos there too, went over to Ethiopia and had meetings with the Minister of Transport over there, and the Mayor Office Transport, and also the Mayor Office Transport Head, which is this guy here, Mayor Office Transport Head, and the local bank, and with the CEO and the local bank. So these guys have got the infrastructure just in their own country to be able to build the Skyway from using all their local workers. So all this, guys, is actually intellectual property that Anatoly Unitsky has created, and he sells that intellectual property to these countries that you see there in the picture. So they just give them the plans and they build it. So when it comes to other countries, the same thing again. So it's all being used, local labour is being used, and it's creating work and everything like that too. So amazing. So this is one of the big events that they did over there in, I think that was one of the countries, I think that might have been in India. They did that, showing all the SkyWay technology, how it all works. What you can see there is like the model of the SkyWay. So it's actually like a miniature size one going around on a track, or suspended from the tracks. So guys, you're probably thinking, what's in it for you? Now, this is probably the same thing that they said about a lot of these different companies here. Now, you know, a lot of these names, quite famous. I remember Coca-Cola, there was a guy that went along to them and they said, if you use these two words, it's going to make you a multi-billionaire. Because at the start, when they first started Coca-Cola, they just had it running on a tap. And he said, what shall we do? And he says, bottle it. So they decided to bottle it, and that's what made them big. Microsoft, as we all know, the shares at Microsoft are around about 800 and something. We were about $850 a share. A little bit up and down sometimes around that figure. So a lot of these companies that you can see here have become ubiquitous around the world. So, and they're multi-billion-dollar companies, and that's just like Microsoft is just computers, Google's just computers, you know, and digital property, that type of thing. That's all they've done it in. Amazon's just like another eBay type of system. So if these guys can, you know, get to that stage of, you know, from where they've come from. A lot of these guys started from their mother's room, front room or garage, and they've come to where they are today. What's SkyWay with a transportation system? It's not just about that anymore. It's not just about transportation, but it's also about having eco-friendly villages as we move now into the 7th economic structure. And we're going to be creating linear cities out in deserts and having SkyWay technology connecting that desert up to the nearest city. maybe before it might have taken 5 or 10 hours just to go from point A to point B. SkyWay can do that in a lot less time. So we have a investment portal on here too, where you can actually buy pre-IPO equity shares. So this is not like buying them, buying shares as such on a stock market. We're not actually selling shares. We're giving you the option here to, give you guys the option to get pre-IPO shares and learn about how you can be educated on investments. Excuse me. What I would recommend, guys, if you can possibly do this, is to put in, which is EIP9. Now that'll give you 5,000 units or 700,000 pre-IPO shares. So the whole idea, guys, is to try and get up to at least 1 million shares or more, because those 1 million shares, like I just mentioned before about Microsoft, 85, was it 800, I think it was, one stage, wasn't it? Not 85, about 855, yeah, for one share. So if you've got 1 million shares, times 1 million by 855, and that's how many shares you would have. If you can't manage to do 5,000, you can start off at a minimum of 250 US dollars. You can put in just a one-off lump sum and just put it in as you want to do that. If you do it that way, though, you can't lock in your pre-IPO shares for those amounts that you see at the moment. They can change, okay? They do go up as we're getting closer and closer to that time, right up to the 1st of July now. That you'll probably see that figure may change and go up a little bit more at that time. So the other option, guys, is that you can do this on installments as well, starting from 15 US per month. Now that would give you, after 10 months, $150 worth, which would be 10,000 shares. So that's still not too bad if they go up to $880 or more per share. So you've got those different options there, guys. So choose which one suits you best out of those and go with that one. So keep the payments going every single month so you lock in your shares. If you happen to not make that payment for 1 month, that'll be recalculated to the current pre-IPO share price. Okay, so just different options there that are available. So that was the first, I think I might have gone past it, the first opportunity. We'll go back to that shortly. There's opportunity one. You can become an investor, guys. That's your first opportunity, and that's all you need to do is become an investor with the option of lump sums or monthly options, investments, deposits. We're not actually investments as such. We're just pre-IPO. So opportunity 2 is word of mouth. Now this is like networking, multi-level marketing, MLM, that type of thing, which is a very, very powerful way of creating yourself a passive income. Okay, so if you just look at the power of the doubling, if you've heard of the power of doubling effect, which is the first day you start off with $1, the next day you double that to $2, following day to $4, to $8, to $16, and work that out how much that would be after 30 days, and I can tell you guys it would be over $1 million. So that's the same as multi-level marketing, the power of the doubling effect, by introducing this to other people. You never know who is out there that's thinking about keeping our place, our world clean and green and pollution free and environmentally safe, chemical free and everything like that for our generations to come. Whānau and Mokopuna and everything like that need to be, getting the best fresh air and water and pollution free. That's what we want to have. Here we are with the Eco Techno Park visit, July the 1st, 2017. Now, if you want to find out a bit more information about that, down the bottom is the link, skyway-swig.ru/en/. If you go to that link, that'll tell you a bit more about that if you want to participate. Now, what we're doing at the moment, guys, is up till the end of this month, British Standard Time, which will be the 31st of May 2017, 21:55, which is 5 to 10 in the evening, which is about 5 to 9 on the would that be now? The 1st of June. 1st of June for us, it would be. But you want to do that before that, guys. Try and do it by the 31st of May so you don't run over time. So we're giving away 2 gifts at the moment with that. And to get those 2 free gifts, I was mentioning about it in the post on Facebook earlier, that you need this promo code here. So take a note of that promo code, or you can you'll be able to play this video back later because I've got it recording at the moment. So that's up till the end of this month, that 2 free gifts. So one of the free gifts I'll tell you is free shares, free pre-IPO shares of up to 50 free IPO shares. And the other gift, well, you'll get that as well, but I'm not going to tell you what it is at this stage. Promo code, yep, valid till the 31st of May. Now, from June 2017, there's going to be no more promo codes, okay? That's the end of them. We don't need to put them out anymore. There's no more free pre-IPO equity shares, okay? They're going to all be gone. So very important that if you want to jump on board, guys, do that while it's because we don't need to do this anymore now. We've got enough publicity to be supported without having to give them out anymore. So we have events coming up around the world at the moment, and these are some of the events that you will see. Now, if you are living in especially New Zealand or Australia, the events are going to be held in New Zealand on the 17th and 18th of June. And that's going to be held up in Aotearoa, North Shore in Auckland, at the hall. If you want more information about that, it's going to be held up in the hall in Aotearoa, which is a sports club hall. The Victor Eves Park, I believe it's called. About that, you just need to go into the SkyWay New Zealand group, SkyWay New Zealand on Facebook. And you can actually tick a tick there to say come to the event or not. Somebody that's got a bit of history there that's well known to everybody. A special guest is going to be turning up there that's quite well known in the country, in our country here. Plus our special guests that are coming also from the UK will be at the event too. So that will be all talking about SkyWay and what we're doing, where we're going in the future and everything like that. So if you want to stay updated with everything that's happening, this is our Facebook group here, SkyWay New Zealand, and on our YouTube channel, I believe it's actually SkyWay NZ Group. We've got it set up all in one word instead of this. But you'll see it if you type that in anyway. You'll see our one there too. So that's it, guys, and thank you very much for coming along tonight and having a look at this. And I hope we've answered most of your questions. If you've got any other questions there, please put them into the chat room. And yeah, we'll just go there for a few more minutes. If anybody else has got any more questions or anything like that, just please put them in there and answer any of those for you. So if you got somebody that introduced you to this tonight, just go back to that person and there'll be link, register. It's a registration link, and they can help you with that. If you have any trouble with not having anybody that's introduced you, give me a yell on Skype. That's my ID down the bottom there. Just type my name in one word, send me a message or give me a call on Skype, and I can help you with anything there at all. All right, I'll just go in a few more minutes, and then we'll call it another. Stop sharing screens here. Okay. Has anybody got any more questions, guys? Is it still got a lot of people? Okay. All right, thanks, guys. And we'll be back again next week, same time, Monday, 8 p.m, for another episode of SkyWay and greatest and latest and everything technology. Thanks, guys, and we'll see you again next week.